Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be watching a video by a recommendation actually. This is the first time I'm watching something from Mandaloregaming. Limbo of the Lost. The greatest bad game. I have no idea. I never played this game. I never heard of this game. It doesn't even look familiar to me. But yeah, let's check it out and see what this actually is. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hurry up, Briggsy. Shake a leg. Get a move on.
What the What? Alright. Mandalore. Very well.
A few weeks ago, a game called Hunt Down the Freeman was released. To put it bluntly, it's abysmal. There are feature-length videos talking about how bad it is. On top of that, it was using assets that appear to be stolen from other games and
Holy shit.
It's abysmal. There are feature-length videos talking about how bad it is. On top of that, it was using
Yeah, well, that is like 3 games. That Kalashnikov looked so familiar. Is that from... No, it's not from Source. It's from another game. It's not from Valve games.
Assets that appear to be stolen from other games and mods. I saw some people calling this the biggest scam in gaming, but
Jesus
I remember the story
Christ.
very similar to this one. And
Half-Life 2 episodes. Half-Life episodes, all the Counter-Strikes. No, just Counter-Strike.
Too long ago, actually.
Left 4 Dead
Imagine
2.
a game that stole at least 10 times as much stuff but got a physical release. Well,
Total
it's here.
fantasy.
It's actually right here on my desk.
Holy
Highly enjoyable.
shit.
I was immersed within the first few minutes. I've never heard of any of these websites, but I do agree that it is a highly enjoyable game. As you can tell from the title, this isn't just going to be a review this time. It's going to be a little different.
What is even... Is that part of the game? They didn't even put it...
So in the spirit of Hunt Down the Freeman, I'd like to share a game that's so
What
bad
the
it's good, but also so much more. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get started.
What is this game?
Forget reality.
Limbo of the Lost.
Your darkest dreams.
This is maybe the best advice you'll get in the whole game. When you start it up, you get a cutscene of someone falling through fire, and it's from the movie Spawn. I don't mean they ripped it off, I mean they literally took this scene from the movie Spawn, and they just made it their intro.
Just like that, yoink. Just like that? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, this is a slightly worse than Tower of Fantasy. Holy
The only thing different they
shit.
did was putting a border around it. And the border itself, taken
It's
from
awful.
World of Warcraft wallpaper. The game hasn't begun,
Oh my god, no. No.
and there are already 2 lawsuits waiting to happen. This came out in 2008. This wasn't, Wild West internet. I'm not going to play the whole intro, but there are only 3 people listed in the credits, and that's probably why. Also, I have no clue what anyone's saying or what's happening. Give a listen to the audio mixing.
Why, it's a wonderful, but no warrior. But the dead do not welcome the presence of the living.
What are they talking about? It's just whispers.
This will come up again later, but even if you could hear them, it wouldn't make a difference.
No.
Finally, we get to the prologue, featuring a vaguely adjusted Battle for Middle-earth
Highly
loading
doubt it.
screen. Then, it begins.
What begins? Why is it?
So you are aware? No. Do not be fearful of me.
What the fuck is this? This is horrifying and funny at the same time.
So you are aware? Good. No. Do not be fearful of me. I am to help, not to hurt. I am friend.
Where do you even start with something like this? Well, first of all, the style of cutscene may be familiar to some people. I couldn't understand what it was until later. It's a spiritual successor to the CDI Zelda cutscenes. It has all the ingredients.
Oh boy, I'm so hungry, I could eat an Octorok.
What the fuck?
Aroth doesn't play
What? My
about your backstory or why you're there, but he tells you to stay away from the dark ones. Well, I guess he tells the main character Briggs, because you, the player, are a character.
Yes, yes, look! They're on the other side!
Whoa. Wow.
When you finally get to playing, it seems like any typical adventure game. Limbo the Lost is entirely in 2D, which is awkward. At best, the Briggs model just seems out of place compared to everything else. At its worst, the game just doesn't know how to handle him. A lot of the backgrounds look jagged and awful, and in theory, this could be fixed with anti-aliasing. I tried setting it up to maximum, and as far as I can tell, it doesn't do anything.
Nothing.
Oh right, like I just said.
The texture is still broken. Look at this, bro. That means the texture just look like that. The anti-aliasing can't fix when the original craft is shit.
This is a 2D game, so that's a screenshot.
Yeah.
The option. That is incredible.
3D
Sometimes
yet.
character sprites will double over each other in different positions. The art style can change every other room. Basically, the visuals are a mess on a technical and artistic level. Some people play adventure games to explore aesthetically pleasing worlds, and this isn't one of those. Limbo the Lost keeps you entertained by being half freak show and half scavenger hunt. For example, the first room you're in, stolen from Return to Castle Wolfenstein. The entire beginning of the game is. I'm not going to show all of it because it would take forever. Just seeing what's stolen is fun, but there's so much more. For example, here's going up a set of stairs. That's never explained, it just happens.
I'm just speechless. Why would that happen?
That's the story for this game. Things happen.
Who are you? Oh, faggot's the name, and cooking's me game.
That's not a joke. The character's name is Cranny Faggot, and we're still in the prologue.
Fuck
Away.
me.
Black Hawk trust no one. Black Hawk only trust birds.
I hope you can understand why this is beyond the regular video format.
Yeah, because that is a Native
This is going to
American.
be a house tour
or
/
something.
history lesson of an
What
insane
the
asylum.
fuck is
I'm not
going
going to
on?
show all the good parts, but I'm going to break some things down, show some stolen stuff, and show how it doesn't work.
Jesus.
If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that I'm no stranger to sound issues in games. However, Limbo the Lost has a unique one that I haven't seen anywhere else. There are no audio options, not even volume control. Fair enough. I can just lower it in the volume mixer.
Just choose your
This works for
driver.
a little bit. Whoa, what happened? The sound level just jumped back up. Whenever you change a room, your volume spikes back up to your default. I've never seen something like this. I can only guess it's running some kind of check every time it loads a new room and then sets your audio up.
Yeah. It wants to terrify you by jump scares, so it just... That's a retarded design.
Grunger. The big technical issue is that the game is prone to crashing. It seems to be random, but
It's
right
obviously.
here, I can swear that Briggs crashes the game.
Bro, how... This dude is a fucking Chad for trying and replicating errors and glitches in games. Like that, these games, no one plays these games. And he doesn't, he plays them to a fucking T2s. Holy shit.
Well, there's your port report, PC Master Race. Luckily, you can load from the splash screen,
What
or
is...
anywhere else in the game. If the conversation is going too long and you're worried about crashing, you could just...
Oh, okay, so... Is this a menu? Is this an in-game UI?
anywhere else in the game. If the conversation is going too long and you're worried about crashing, you could just pause the game and save in the middle of it. So the crashing isn't as
Oh,
big
it's
of a
a
deal
save.
as it should
Okay,
be.
it's a main
By the
menu.
way, check out the menu. The unpause button being back to hell is pretty funny, but look at the gargoyle. I won't run out of these
Oh,
anytime soon.
God.
It's good that the technical issues are for the most part weird and not game destroying. Having a so bad it's good game is much harder than a so bad it's good movie. With something like The
Yeah.
Room, you just pop it in and watch Tommy do his thing. This is why good bad games are hard to find. A bad game is like having Tommy Wiseau make the movie, but also the DVD it's carried on, and the DVD player. I've seen some people say that Hunt Down the Freeman is a so bad it's good game, but it's really not. If you're spending more time lost or feeling frustrated than laughing at the works of a madman, it's just not a good bad game.
Yeah.
I don't think games that are designed to be broken like Goat Simulator should count for the category, but I'm not the expert.
It is. It actually absolutely is. It's a bad game, but it's a good game. If the gameplay is fun, but the game is just not that good, it's still a fun experience.
There's just something special about seeing someone's different brain working at full capacity on a passion. Limbo: The Lost started development sometime in the early 90s, so nearly 20 years went into this. So the fact that it's functional and relatively hassle-free on a modern system is a blessing. So now I'm going to show you how the game is played.
The fact that it doesn't give you a tree of errors the moment you run it.
And relatively hassle-free on a modern system is a blessing. So now I'm going to show you how the game is played. The interface is very simple. You can right-click anywhere in the game world to open up a Ouija board. On an object, you can sense it, look at it, take it, or perform an action on it. In reality, you'll only be using 3 of these and not sense because it's useless.
Why not? Wait, I didn't catch. So every one of these does something else with the
The interface is very simple. You can right-click anywhere in the game world to open up a Ouija board. On an object, you can sense it, look at it, take it, or perform an action on it. In reality, you'll only be using 3 of these and not sense because it's useless. It's your sense of smell, but most things in the game you can't smell.
No sense, no feeling.
99% of objects in the game will say that. When it comes
Then
to inventory,
why?
you just mouse to the top of the screen to access it. And you can use your actions on these items as well. For example, if you have a letter, you could use the look command and then read it. Wait a minute. Well, I guess Cranny Faggot likes to drop
God.
with the hard stuff.
God. They just drop it. To be honest, it was the 90s. Makes sense.
Let me know if you see anything that I miss. Anyway, some of the letters only open main menu options. You won't get all the letters until about the last 10 seconds of the game. Since you also click to move around as well, you don't need your keyboard for any of this. So the controls are fine and the UI is passable except for 2 flaws. That compass is always spinning. You might be saying, so what, it's spinning around. Well, just wait. When the levels will start turning into a maze, this is going to get into your head. To give it credit, it will stop moving when you mouse over an exit, but it might not always stop in the exact right place. Like right here, it stops moving for a moment, but I click there and I can't move off it. Nope, that didn't do it.
It wants to go back for a second, or maybe it's just so low quality in the way that it's designed that maybe our eyes deceive us when it stops for a frame.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's returning the fucking previous place. It's not even spinning.
Oh my god. Come on, finally, there we go. Interesting piece. I saw those skulls just everywhere. Well, once again, it's more Diablo.
Yeah, okay, that makes more fucking sense. What the? That's a good item.
And a shield of all things.
Interesting.
Naturally, you expect bad adventure game logic for the puzzles. And don't worry, those are there. It just takes it farther into crazy person logic. So now I'm going to go through the game chapter by chapter and show things I thought were interesting. Not all of them in case you want to play it yourself, but enough to give you an idea of what to
Mouth
expect.
of cake.
Oh, I say, we have a visitor. How lovely.
Oh, what the?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Hang on. Do not be afraid.
What the fuck is this game? Oh my god, that is terrifying.
Is that better?
No! I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. Holy shit.
Dungeon Master.
The prologue is brief, but it serves as a perfect introduction to the game. Your main goal is to steal a key from the jailer known as Grunger, or Grunger depending on who you're talking to, and escape the level. To get the key, you need to make a sleeping potion and knock him out and snatch it from his neck, except he's already asleep. Huh. What's interesting is how they were able to weave the stolen backgrounds together into something consistent. Like I said before, the very beginning is from Wolfenstein, but the later parts of the prologue are from a different game, an Xbox hack and slash called Enclave, or Enclave depending on where you're from. This is what you would go out and rent before the Souls games were invented. Back in the day, we just called it Swede Souls, you know, because Starbreeze is Swedish.
Makes sense.
Man, this reminds me of
Absolutely.
good stuff. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I went on a sightseeing tour.
What was that on?
Man, this reminds me of the good stuff.
Oh, PlayStation 2, holy shit. Yeah, I didn't have PlayStation. I started at PlayStation 1 and didn't afford 2 or 3.
Anyhow, I went on a sightseeing tour in some games to find the locations. A lot of the Limbo of the Lost backgrounds are really zoomed in or have the colors adjusted, but it's not enough to hide it, especially if someone's looking for it. However, Enclave is integrated into the game a little bit differently than the others in one area.
The fact is, it actually looks good and 3D, like the other game, like this Limbo
in the
thing
prologue, you meet a
doesn't.
trapped character who's hanging in a suspended cage and he doesn't shut up. It's a joke that goes on way too long, but I like the skeleton in the background. You need to collapse the cage so you can grab his arm and then throw it into the sleeping potion you're making. You go to the room above the cages and see the 2 ropes suspending them.
Why do you need his arm for a sleeping potion?
There's a
Maybe-
huge lever in the room, but it does nothing when you try to action it. Plus, I can see that these ropes are attached to a gate. Meanwhile, I found the same room in Enclave. They did try to hide this a little bit more by flipping the screen around. Good hustle.
God, that's such. The fact it's just a copy of the room but flipped is insane to me. And I love it that he's just exposing and telling us about this, like, piece by piece and detail by detail. I love that.
So you pull the lever and it raises the gate. The one you can clearly see. In Limbo of the Lost, you have to be Captain Kleptomaniac to put together a torch and then burn down the rope.
Oh, la, 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 la. Oh, 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 oh,
I love his face so much. It's just.
Meanwhile,
the
no,
fuck?
you can't slash the ropes. Maybe they thought that the puzzles were too similar, so made their own torch puzzle to differentiate from it. But in that case, why leave the lever there? Did they not have anybody who could Photoshop it out? I haven't gotten there yet, but it's not even the
It's
most
2D,
blatant
yeah.
plagiarism. Not even close. So what came first, the torch or the lever? Was the puzzle based around a stolen level, or did the puzzle come first and they just made the level fit into it somehow? Well, I think I have the answer. Remember when I said it was in development for nearly 20 years? Well, they released a demo in 1995 for the Amiga 32. The 88th issue of the Amiga Computing magazine only had some images of it, but the 11th issue of a magazine called Amiga CD32 Gamer had a demo. As far as I can tell, issue 11 is lost to time, but the demo isn't. Time to fire up the emulator.
Oh my god.
Think. And before you say it, it isn't me.
Man, gaming used to be so much better back in the day.
Oh, that floppy sound. Oh, that fucking floppy sound, man. That red car race game in DOS? Shit.
Man, gaming used to be so much better back in the day.
Forget reality. Surrender to your darkest dream.
They kept the same line.
Looks a tad
Wow,
bit
it'll have
different.
hordes of monsters. I've got to admit, this game looks a lot nicer than the one they released.
Yeah.
Stuck? Try logic.
The Amiga version is actually more of a pain because you have to cycle through more options with the mouse by right-clicking.
It's a locked door.
What makes it unbearable is if you don't do something for 7 seconds, he stops the game.
Hello?
This is also a timed demo, so I don't want to have to keep restarting it. It's really reminding me of CDI Zelda now. But
This actually looks so much better if they increase the fucking, like, pixel density a bit. And, like, so we can play it on 1080.
wouldn't you know it, it's the exact same first puzzle.
This is like Fate. Fate is actually a really good game. Fate 1, 2, 3.
Now. But wouldn't you know it, it's the exact same first puzzle. Grabbing the torch, combining it with the human fat, and lighting it in the cauldron. The exact same thing.
Nah, this brew's designed to chew, not spew.
What a weirdo.
This demo is going to have some more importance, but I'm going to put it aside for now. The demo proves that, on some level, there was an original game being made, so it wasn't a complete sham of grabbing things from other games and designing it around that. That being said, there are stolen elements that are just lazy. For example, all the signs are using a Lord of the Rings font. Why not use a font that doesn't need a license? It's a shame because the elements that are original are genuinely bizarre and funny.
What the?
So
That was still a big fucking snake coming out of it. What do you mean few? Run!
how bad do the puzzles get? The
Jesus.
sleep potion isn't that far-fetched, except you also need the jailer's snot to complete it. Plus, you get your first taste of crazy person logic. Cranny's potion calls for liquor, so you'd think you could find some liquor somewhere, but you can't. You fill a jar with water, combine it with a worm, and then you have tequila. That's dumb, but only a taste of what's to come.
There is no sugar, no alcohol. Yeah, that shit doesn't work.
I'm back from the sewer water. Here's your booze, Madam Faggot. You wake up the jailer to give him the potion that puts
I can't believe it's
him back to sleep
yeah,
and then grab his key.
oh my god, I
You're
can't
done.
say it.
Grubs up. My favorite.
Well
Chapter
animated.
complete. The tutorial. I'd usually be in the middle by now, but everything's all messed up in this video. And so begins Chapter 1.
I, young man, am the keeper of lost souls. You have done well to get this far.
What is this place?
To some, this is home. To others, it is a halfway house between their world and the next. This is the keep of lost souls.
Why is everyone in like my grandma when they're fucking Skyping or some shit, Discording? Skype, who Skypes? Like, what the fuck? This is the. Why are you in front of the fucking? Go back so I can see your bald face.
So tell me,
What the fuck? Everyone's like surprising or like dramatic or something.
am I dead?
What?
What the?
Here, let me give you this.
Sorry about that. Don't know what came over me.
We are off to an
The
excellent
dog.
This is when the levels start to open up and the true madness begins. There are a bunch of coffins you could grab items from, but several
What the fuck was that? It's gonna that's gonna be my fucking phrase this episode because what? Dude, that dude what? The glass is even smooth transition though. Holy shit.
This is when the levels start to open up and the true madness begins. There are a bunch of coffins you could grab items from, but several of them are red herrings and they don't do anything. There are also 3 items, 2 of which you need to complete stuff, but you can only hold one at a time. One gift to rule them all. Some of the investigating is odd and lacks visual cues. I use take on an empty eye socket, and I get a glass eye out of it. Why not just have an eyeball there? Chapter 1's beginning is
Yeah.
all about teaching you not to trust what you can see.
To be honest, some good games, like one of my favorite games, Corpse Party, had shit like that too. When the object in true, like 2D prompt wasn't there, but when you clicked on the place, it would give it to you. It's because basically annoying game design that hides the clue. So you just click on literally everything.
Why not just have an eyeball there? Chapter 1's beginning is all about teaching you not to trust what you can see. Like crossing this bridge that has rotting planks that are breaking apart. All the items I collected didn't help me out, but here's the answer. You go to the entrance of the level and pick up an entire coffin lid. Now you could use it on the bridge to cross.
Yeah.
That doesn't look safe to me. Your perspective really gets thrown off in this level. Not long after, you find what looks like a satanic dog bowl. Fluffy. Oh, don't tell me.
Aww.
I was really expecting
on.
the dog from Harry Potter. Or maybe the model from the game.
Hey, are you asleep?
Oh my god, they did it. Alright, I see it. And stop. Actually, they are 3 separate dogs, so it's not a complete ripoff. But then why only show one dog bowl in the cutscene? The world may never know. To keep the dogs distracted, you have to put a bone in each of their bowls. For every bone you put in, a gate opens up. This room is a 3-door hub to the rest of the level, so ideally you want all the doors open at once. The only place you can get a bone is from the first room, but you can only carry one at a time. It's about
Oh
a minute
my
trek each
God.
way, and there's no special event or challenge, it's just to waste your time. As for the level itself, it's interesting in that it's not only plagiarizing,
annoying.
but also recycling plagiarized material. It's mainly Painkiller, the catacomb level to be exact. All they did here was slightly angle the screen material. It's mainly Painkiller, the catacomb.
Even the rock. Just drop that rock. Like, everyone would disagree and you create a discussion if that rock wasn't there. Like, seriously.
Catacomb level to be exact. All they did here
Oh
was
my
slightly
God.
angle the screenshots they took and sometimes slap some signs around. Dead Man's Drop, Dead Man's Curve, Dead Man's Gorge. I wish I was dead. I wouldn't call it a maze because there's
Yeah.
only so many directions you can go, but it is annoying. Like any average adventure game, some stuff you can figure out on your own, but others are just deranged.
Oh, thank you, Black Hawk. But really, there's no need for...
Shh. No buts. Now, go.
Yeah, that is literally a Native American with the skin of a white dude
You know what?
on his face.
Every
What
gift
the?
tells a story.
You should let's hope it's not. What the fuck? This is the thumbnail of this dude. What?
I would be really excited to see Briggs in the new Smash. While there are more elaborate puzzles to choose from, there's a really simple one that shows madman logic, or maybe 4-year-old logic. Eventually, you'll need a soul of a warrior to get past a statue that's drunk and sounds like Predator. You need to switch the real green soul bottle with a decoy that you make yourself. So you fill up an identical looking bottle with water, that's a good start, but what do you mix it with? You use a bag of saffron. Now saffron spice is typically more red colored. The color
saffron is the most expensive shit in the world. I mean, spice.
Saffron is named after the tips of the flowers that make the spice. So assuming it is a bag of the spice, it'd be more red colored, but we can pretend that it's all golden saffron tips. So you combine the yellow saffron with the water and you get green?
That's just bullshit. Like, that's just the moment you drop a fucking cc, not a cc, a milligram of saffron into any fucking other kind of liquid, it turns red. Everything turns red. If it's a lot of liquid, it turns yellowish red. But it still never turns green. That's mold, bro. That you got ripped off.
Because water is blue and saffron is yellow and blue plus yellow equals green? Water isn't paint. At least not in my part of the country yet.
It's not. Oh no. Florida. That sounds like some old grandma talking to like a deaf person, and the deaf person keeps saying while the grandma is just trying to talk. Like, seriously.
The first level also has the first of 3 hidden items. You can only see it if you aim for the left of the stairwell here. It's not horrible, but a little too out of the way. Rest assured, each one of these will be worse than the last.
Awful.
Ah, my favorite. Here, you must take in exchange for gift.
I think that's enough of Chapter 1. Like I said before, I'm only giving you a taste of what's in store.
Thank you! Because what the fuck is that? Bro, if they keep fucking putting their ugly ass face in front of the lens, even I don't do that.
The sewers. What's really incredible is how little you learn by talking to so many people. We're now 2 chapters in and we only know that we're a chosen one and that we're stuck in Limbo. The story offers just about 0 intrigue. Like anything so bad that's good, you just keep playing to see what happens. It still might be best to play this game in bursts. The ambient audio never...
No, it's just a binging game then. Like, holy shit, this game sucks. Like, it doesn't just suck on a like, I love the animations. At least some of the animations when they just move and it's a dog. What? But like, what the fuck is with the disgusting parts of shit?
Playing to see what happens. It still might be best to play this game in bursts. The ambient audio never stops looping, but this one soundbite is the worst. It's roughly every 2 minutes. It's also a stolen sound effect from the Hammer Hansen Thief. The sewer/swamp level has the most plagiarized things I could recognize without looking stuff up. The first screen, once you pass into the sewer, is from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Most of the gross sewer seems to be the Hollywood sewers.
Come on, no.
There's an entire room.
I mean, that's a popular game, but
items.
that's awful. It's like that doesn't even make sense. Why would you steal from that game?
There's a set of orcish armor and a bunch of weapon models that just retextured. This won't be the last we see of Elder Scrolls games. Not even close. There's also this Greek helmet in the corner I thought was from Google Images. After looking around, it turned out to be the Dusk Deep helm from Diablo 2. Incredibly, I don't think this is the most blatant plagiarism in the game yet. That won't be until next chapter. Chapter 2 does have one of my favorite stolen assets.
That boss actually looks kind of cool. That's like something that should have been in Elden Ring maybe. But like, better. Like, look, that looks so good.
Won't be until next.
Like, it's just so like.
Chapter.
At the end of every one of those tentacles is an eye.
Chapter 2 does have one of my favorite stolen assets, the flute. Not the instrument itself, but the song. Okay, they had a little Indiana Jones tune. So what? Well, it's more than you think. They didn't bother to whistle the tune themselves, but instead took an Easter egg from Serious Sam. That is impressive.
You can't even whistle. They didn't even whistle, right? They copied the whistle! They fucking copied the whistle! Bro! To be honest, some people don't have the lips for whistling or moisture for like that. You need that. What the fuck?
As for the game, it's very similar to Chapter 1. Once again, there are 3 main doors, except this time you can only open one at a time. Innovative. The puzzles themselves are becoming more cruel, both narratively and mechanically. Can you see the important item in this room? It's not this panel, not this jar, not the glowing picture on the wall. It's a piece of wood on the back desk. You can only click on about 2 pixels of it, so you can mouse right over it and miss it. This is the second worst hidden
That's awful.
object in the game. As for narrative, at one point Briggs sneaks up on an old man and then puts an iron bear trap over his eyes. That seems a bit excessive, so why would he do that? To take his pen and ink. Reality is slipping. That seems a bit excessive, so why would he do that?
Just put it in this proud. What is this dude?
To take his pen and ink. Reality is slipping.
There's some lovely filth around here. Ooh, who are you? Go on, clear off.
Don't get
neat,
jealous,
where's
sir.
Hammer?
Why did it go pink? Come on, stores hammer.
Logic is running on empty in Chapter 2. So now we're gonna move on to the only real plot and character driven level in the game, Chapter 3.
Where the hell am
I don't know, man. You're in bizarre glitchland hell.
Why is the music double overlaying? Darkmere.
He's very, very
It's repeating itself in itself.
worried about you, and I'm a little bit worried myself about being worried about your friend, being worried about you, being worried about this, and I want you to take it so I don't have to worry no more.
Oh, thank you, but who?
The fuck? It says worried so much! What the fuck? No! You're worried, man!
Soul Taker! Soul Taker!
Her audio is way better than the main characters. What? Darkmere is the first time you can learn more about the inhabitants and where you are. It's refreshing. After doing random tasks with very little story drive, it's nice to have some narrative. Briggs has been accused of being a monster called the Soul Taker. You're imprisoned in a very familiar looking cell, but it's not for long. You find your way out.
With the fucking cop? No way. Oh, okay, thank God time passes.
It seems we have done you a great
I was gonna
injustice,
say.
my good fellow.
The mayor appoints you as detectives, so now you need to interview people, gather clues, and find the real Soul Taker. You even have a little LA Noire clue book. Why is the snow not cold? That's a good start. And so begins the
Because
most
it's evil.
unbelievable plagiarism in the game.
The sky.
You cannot be serious. Nearly every single interior is ripped out of Oblivion. It's not remotely subtle. They copy floor plans entirely. The Shivering Isles expansion had come out just the year before. This could have been on the same shelf as Oblivion. People were actively playing this game. How could they think no one would notice? It's mind-blowing. There's no other way to put it. Out of all the things that people might miss, you took entire levels from a popular AAA game that was still on shelves. Even then, they still managed
It still is. With mods, people still play that shit.
to screw up the background. I still play modded Oblivion from time to time, so
Yeah.
I could go right down to the first edition bookstore. Here he is behind the counter, and here's the back view. You enter the building from the wrong side. The register facing the clerk, the books facing outwards, it's all mixed up. They couldn't even get the chair completely out of the shot. This feels like having an out-of-body experience. The fact that living human beings thought they could do this and make money off of it without getting in trouble is mind-boggling. Now would be a good time to bring up the fire. Since they just screenshotted the level, they needed animated
It's not
torches.
mind-boggling. They're just dumb. And they just wanted to make some money. They're probably addicts or something. I'm not gonna blame someone or label, but seriously, what the fuck were you doing and thinking? This game took 20 years to make.
Fire. Since they just screenshotted the level, they needed animated torches. All the fire in the game uses fire.gif. They downloaded a fire gif, put it on the Oblivion screenshot, level completed. It wasn't even the first time in the game they took Oblivion assets, but Darkmere is chock full of them. It's unreal. Literally unreal. Unreal Tournament 2004.
Nice, but oh my god.
User maps. So they took all these measures to change the map from some map maker, but not the major studio game owned by ZeniMax?
Oh my...
Shut the fuck up! Bro, I got corona just from that voice!
Oh dear!
I can never return to first edition.
No, yeah!
So, what is there to see in Cyrodiil? There are several interesting characters. You might not be able to talk to them for long, but what's there is really good. Much like the real Oblivion, however, it's held back by the amount of voice actors they had. Much of Darkmere's population is voiced by one guy pitching his voice up and down or making funny voices.
It seems we have done you a great injustice, my good fellow. My dear friend and trusted advisor, Omega's here.
Can I help you,
Oh, that's awful. Okay, that is awful.
Actually, it's Mr., not Miss.
What? You can't be my sister. I haven't even got a sister.
Miss.
Oh my god. Get your ears right, lady!
I'm a man.
For an age, it seems that this has been going on. One after another they disappear. Souls taken.
There are two actors with better equipment, but they have their own issues. Sometimes you can hear the click of someone starting to record it in the background.
My pleasure, Mr. Detective. Now, you sure nothing takes your fancy before you go?
Detective? I say, detective, we found another one.
Can you hear me?
Bro, this game looks and sounds low quality, but there are some issues exactly like this in Cyberpunk 2077. Like, there are. And I have record video proof of that. The voice actor just changes the fucking voice. The voice actor changes mid fucking line in that game. Like, this is actually believable in a game that is so old and is so bad. But that shit happened in a AAA fucking title like that.
We found another one.
Can you hear me?
Well, at least he died peacefully.
Can you help me find the Soul Taker?
Mon Dieu, s'il vous plaît, monsieur. Do not say those two words within this house. Shadows may seek even this place.
Okay.
What is this game?
Hey, come on.
I don't know, bro. You're playing it.
Give her a chance, please.
What? Detective Briggs is a mix of both the best and the worst the game has to offer. Exploring the town and finding clues are more engaging than all the other chapters, at least until you hit a wall. Unlike the previous levels, Darkmere is expansive. They even give you a map that lets you teleport around town, it's so big. Now this is great for a while, but then the game starts trying to trick you. When you and your deputy find another victim of the Soul Taker, sometimes you'll automatically pick up his items. This saves hassle at first, but it doesn't always work this way. Sometimes a cutscene will end and the game will automatically...
What the fuck? That dude, that looks like the dude from Elden Ring, but more cursed.
Have you leave the area, but you don't want to leave, you want to go back. There are items being left behind that don't show up in the previous screen, so you always want to double check. Here, I can see the key on the floor, but the game has me walk right past it, and I have to go back and get it. If I wasn't paying attention, I could have been screwed from that and had to look all over town to find the right item. The stolen level design that's not touched up makes it even harder than it
Are those all items? Please don't tell me.
That light really is an exit in the right item. The stolen level design that's not touched up makes it even harder than it should be. That light really is an exit on the Unreal map, but in here it looks like one, but you can't go through it. This Frankenstein of a game isn't even stitched up right. Sometimes an area that had nothing might have a Frankenstein of
Look at this.
The game isn't even stitched.
Look, bro. Look, that is what the fuck. That is okay. That is perfection. Like that is shows how shitty it.
Up right. Sometimes an area that had nothing might have.
It's not a layer of a graphic. It's not a layer. It's just a fucking picture.
This Frankenstein of a game isn't even stitched up right. Sometimes an area that had nothing might have items appear there later. Keep checking the journal. If something's not crossed off, you have to go back later. I could follow the plot up until Briggs was hiding in a stable with some terrifying horses.
Yeah.
So he scopes it out and he's like hiding in the corner and these characters walk in and then one says horses for courses. I've played this a few times now and I have no idea what this means, but it's the key.
That's what the creature was trying to tell me.
You mean this guy? There was only one point when I was really stuck, and it's a nightmare. At some point when you leave first edition books, you get hit with a snowball.
Whoa.
The note says there's more than one way in, and I'm glad the game points it out. I'm serious, there's so many typos and spelling errors that you might think differently. I look all around the inn and I don't see any secret passage or switch or button or anything.
That snowball looked like it has
With
like
a snowball.
Whoa.
That snowball looked like it has like a, what do you call it? Those things that are in watches and create the motion. Tick, tick, tick. What do you call them? Strings or something, right? Like
the note says there's more than one way in, and I'm glad the game points it out. I'm serious, there's so many typos and spelling errors that you might think differently. I look all around the inn and I don't see any secret passage or switch or button or anything. Maybe the note meant there's another way to go inside the inn from somewhere outside. So I explore the areas around the inn, but I still don't find anything. So here's the answer. The horrible, horrible answer.
What?
First, you have to go behind the bar to a very exact spot in the corner. Then you mouse around for a magic pixel. No text prompt comes up, your hand just changes shape for about half a second. You have to be standing in the right place, so I have to keep waving around to do it right. No.
You got it for a second. Okay, this is bullshit. This is worse than some of the Easter eggs that you have to find in Black Ops Zombies. Like that, there are some bullshit stuff there, like in Transit. What the fuck? But this is just stupid.
Oh, there we go. Now you're in the Secret Oblivion dungeon. That, by far, is the biggest blocker in the game. Now I can just grab these Baldur's Gate cloaks and be done with it. When I finally found the big piece of evidence, I nearly had a stroke. I'm gonna leave that as a surprise. When you have all the evidence...
Okay, let me... Oh, give me a second for a second. I need to drink up and go wash my face for a second. What the fuck? This game is too bizarre and my... Jesus. Okay, let's go in the count of 3, 2, 1,
Briggs
go.
brings it to the court. Not since A Time to Kill has there been a speech quite like this one. He's trying to reach a word count.
No. This is an evil, greedy, corrupt society whose lust for wealth and power means that they will stop at nothing to get what they want. The landlord of the very aptly named Inn of Sins. A fine, upstanding people, ladies and gentlemen. These people that you know and recognize. Take a good look.
I timed it. This goes on for 7 minutes and 45 seconds, and you cannot skip it. It actually sounds like an essay being read aloud. He drags out every piece of evidence you found. I could feel myself being pulled into the void when suddenly...
I'm trying to read the sentence and see if he's right. Holy shit, yeah, he actually drags. Like this sentence here. Like this sentence, oh my god, I can't even look at that. Take a good look again. Why? Why again? Why again use that again?
Not skip it. It actually sounds like an essay being read aloud. He drags out every piece of evidence.
Neither here nor there. There is one thing you all have in common. What? One thing left that you can at least treasure.
You found. I could feel myself being pulled into the void when suddenly one of the greatest cutscenes in video games begins.
Was that the
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your soul taker.
Who is it? What?
The soul taker has been banished. Your mare has been returned.
Awesome! Is he blinking or he's just got a tick from this bullshit?
Absolute art. It's never explained what he did. It's great. So it's time to move to the 4th chapter.
That was a chapter? What the fuck? That was more like a side quest.
After the troll removes all of our items.
For the mayor and Witcher.
Who do you think you are throwing your weight around like this?
Why are they holding their fucking camera on that big ass shit? What the fuck is with the camera like pauses?
The machine.
Oh no.
Chapter 4 sucks. Not in a funny way, it just drags out too little for way too long. As far as I know, this map is made entirely from Unreal maps. Way too few. This is a case study in how not to pad out your adventure game.
This
it
is
has a
from
map
Max
similar to
Payne.
Dark Mirror, albeit much smaller. All of the numbered
Bro, this is just Max Payne. I played Max Payne 1 with this exact layout.
Case study in how not to pad out your adventure game. It has a map similar to Dark Mirror, albeit much smaller. All of the numbered tower locations are completely identical, except some have items. Tower 1 and 2 have nothing, a complete waste of time. Tower 3's only item is right outside the train. There's no reason to explore the rest. So there's not a lot to see, but the game knows it. There are 2 objects that really stick out, but you can't interact with them at all. You have to do other minor tasks, and then they show up and you can pick them up. I don't know why this bothers me so much. Possibly because it was something I expected, but it didn't happen until now. The only good things about it are the cutscenes. There's only a few of them. You can beat it all in 10 minutes. So now's a good time to talk about background stuff before the final chapter. Oh my god, the whole country is a circle.
I am Benjamin.
Oh my...
You can actually see that it's... this railways, it's not even a circle. Like, it just goes further and further. It's not.
My god, the whole country is a circle.
I am Benjamin Spooner Briggs, Captain of the Mary... Benjamin Spooner Briggs, Captain of the Brigadier Mary Celeste.
I like Briggs as a character because he's a goofball, but you don't learn a lot about him. You can learn some things from the bonus disc.
Oh,
it's an enlightening piece of media.
There is a bonus disc? Bro, this is like the old DVD player, like when you write a DVD to play in a DVD player with like old classic shit with the TVs. When 3-color like AV stuff had to be connected. What the fuck? And you click on them with your controller. Oh my god, this thing was awesome. Yeah, there was so much porn in this fucking format.
For starters, it has an entire intro cutscene that's not in the game. Yeah, when you're just thrown into it all with no context, this was supposed to be in front of it. Why it's not actually in the game, I have no idea. It has an intro, credits, titles pop up, and it's way more elaborate than the one the game has. I can only put it down as another mystery. Anyways, the weird vampires in the intro are brothers named Destiny and Fate. But aren't those the same thing? I guess Destiny usually has more positive connotation than Fate, but still.
Well, Fate is a forced upon people when usually happen within religious like incantations. Like Destiny is more, you know, is more mystical than religious. Like Fate is something that it's your fate. It was Jesus' fate. It was the fate of humanity. Destiny is like, it's my destiny to be good, to be awesome. Like some bullshit like that. Though they both are lies. There is no such thing as destiny or faith.
Anyhow, Briggs gets lost in the Bermuda Triangle. It has some live action footage that people debate over the source of, but they definitely didn't make it. It explains that Briggs is on an island and his actions will determine the future of mankind. Those are higher stakes than what the intro...
Wait a second, the shit I said I think I said basically the same thing. So yeah, they are the same thing, aren't they? Just with incantations of
It explains
religions.
that Briggs is on an island and his actions will determine the future of mankind. Those are higher stakes than what the intro implied. Wait, that's the Crisis demo. Maybe they scrapped it because they knew they weren't allowed to use that. It's still incredibly vague, but better than what the game came with. It even shows why Briggs is flying through the big hell portal from Spawn. So Briggs is still a goofball and this doesn't change that. But here's where it gets strange. Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs was a real man. His ship, the Mary Celeste, was also real and was found derelict a few days after this game takes place. Briggs and his crew were never seen again. This game is the final legacy of a real God-fearing sea captain. Grab your Chicago.
That poor dude. That poor dude. At least he has something to his name. Even if he's like, he's a goofball. At least he is a good character in his own game.
Style and get on JSTOR, it's time to learn.
Even
Limbo of the
game
Lost was a
says
book
shit.
originally published in 1969. It got republished in the 70s as Limbo of the Lost, Actual Stories of Sea Mysteries. There were several articles and a few books talking about the Bermuda Triangle before this one, but this helped popularize it. The real course of the ship was nowhere near the triangle, but here's where things get a little tricky. So I went to my buddy Tex from the Black Pants Legion. He's done historical work specializing in maritime history, so...
Is that, oh my god, I watched videos from him. Is that the same guy?
He'd be perfect. At this point, I knew that the real Mary Celeste was one of those weird sea mysteries. It was found derelict near Portugal with no crew. The real course of the ship was nowhere near the triangle, but here's where things get a little tricky. So I went to my buddy Tex from the Black Pants Legion. He's done historical work specializing in maritime history, so he'd be perfect. At this point, I knew that the real Mary Celeste was one of those weird sea mysteries. It was found derelict near Portugal with no crew, all the cargo intact, but a missing lifeboat. Some of the sails and rigging were damaged, but that was about it. Now here's where things get complicated. Sir Arthur Doyle, the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes, had a short story published in 1884. It was in an issue of Cornhill magazine, and was based on the real Mary Celeste. He just changed minor details and names, like calling the ship the Marie Celeste. The story ended up being so popular that to this day it corrupts historical documents about the real ship.
Oh
The US
my
consul
God,
in Gibraltar,
falsified
who had been
history
present at
by
Mary
a
Celeste's
novel.
hearings, would later make inquiries based on the story's facts. After Tex did some groundwork and things, he found out the big discrepancy: the cargo. Doyle's account puts the cargo value at $35,000, which is worth more than the ship. The alcohol was also going to be used to fortify wines, but that's not how this works. The real ship had 1,701 barrels of denatured alcohol, most likely pyridine and methylate spirits. This wouldn't be how port and fortified wine were made. They would use a neutral grape spirit, most likely locally, not from overseas. Not to mention that port was mainly a cocktail mixer in the Victorian era. Shipping booze across the Atlantic to make ratchet peasant wine would have been stupid and
So wait, they took the cargo and a boat and fucked off and let the ship just go its own way. What?
expensive. So any account saying the cargo is worth $35K and being used to fortify alcohol is wrong, and written by brainlets.
Okay.
This
So it
eliminates
didn't
most
happen.
accounts of mutiny and aliens. So was Briggs eaten by his crew?
What?
A sea monster? Well, the most likely answer came out a few years before this game was made. Dr. Andrea Sella of the UCL chemistry department built a replica of the Mary Celeste. He simulated a butane explosion from the cargo hold which made a big fireball but left no signs of burning on the ship itself. This would explain why the ship was damaged but showed no signs of burning due to a pressurized explosion. It explains everything being left behind and no entry in the captain's log, because explosions at sea are scary. So why are there still weird theories? Because there's money to be made off mystery.
Yeah.
Much as the simplest solution makes sense, other tantalizing evidence suggests another fate for the Mary Celeste.
The first
History Channel. Bro, but these documents are actually feel so good when you watch them. It's like, it's more like a movie than a documentary, to be honest.
Mate's wife claims that on the night of November 25th, she had...
This is so fucked up. Like, I love... Every documentary is like this, exactly like this. Some dude is talking, some girl is talking, and you see the events happening. They recreate it. This is brilliant. With awful frame rates. This is awesome.
that said that her husband had been murdered at sea.
Please stop. The new owners of the Mary Celeste then took it to a reef off the coast of Haiti and tried to wreck it there for 6 insurance policies. They didn't get it. Speaking of scams, the developers claim they didn't steal anything. It was all done by a mysterious person or entity that they outsourced.
So they stole everything then. Are you retarded? That doesn't change the fact that it's stolen. If you buy a stolen car, you still have a stolen car.
Well, guess what we're coming back to? Remember the Amiga demo? This hallway is the key. There's another Amiga game called Guy Spy, and people have pointed out some striking similarities in this hallway. That's right, even back then, they were ripping people off. This game is legendary. So, let's move on to the final chapter.
What?
He mentioned something interesting. Cypher is pursuing new research.
Cypher?
He claims that what they're doing in Africa is the missing piece. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
The Citadel. This is another short one made of Unreal maps, but I like it a lot more aesthetically. The original score...
Was that a real voice? Why does it sound like... Why does it sound like... Metal Gear? Like, what the fuck?
A weapon.
Like, what?
To surpass Metal Gear.
Oh, it is Metal Gear. Okay, that is literally Metal Gear. Alright. Okay.
The Citadel.
Okay.
This is another short one made of
confused as
Unreal
fuck.
maps, but I like it a lot more aesthetically. The original score, maybe the only thing not stolen, is also really good. The puzzle's just matching up a right hammer with the right head on the wall and you're good to go.
Death.
Still, for the final level in this adventure, it seems like a letdown. It did seem rational at first. After all, you couldn't expect a ton of people to get this far. But then the true final challenge began.
It's very dark down here. What? Oh, my head. What the hell am I?
Where are you, bro? What? What the fuck is that pendulum?
The Dark One knows you. Where is the seal? The Chosen commands your death.
What the fuck?
You answer to me.
Time is of the essence. Oh my god. Get the fuck out. Is it loading?
That is a legitimately awesome build-up. This is a time challenge. Remember where each head was and activate them in order of a panel. This is not a lenient timer.
Holy shit. The music is awesome. Okay, it's the same one repeating.
I got all the symbols, but now there's letters. Looks like destiny. The timer keeps going and you don't have time to screw around. You're gonna be at the bottom, so you need to get those letters in as fast as you can. Once you do, you won it all. I'm saving the best ending for last. This comes after.
Or
Fate
is
is
it?
upset that Destiny has beaten them, and so they opt in for a double or nothing. That's right, they were already teasing a sequel. We both know a lot of reasons why that's not going to happen. For those same reasons, I would highly recommend checking it out, or getting a copy. Unsurprisingly, there were a lot of legal issues after this game came out, so the retail boxes got pulled. At the time of this video, you can still find wrapped copies for $15 to $20 US, but those won't last forever. This isn't getting a digital release or an enhanced edition anytime soon. For all its problems, it's such a bizarre and funny experience that, for someone like me, I couldn't help but keep going. And nothing reflects its spirit better than the real ending. Thanks for watching. These videos are increasingly harder to make due to scheduling issues, but I'm trying to do it when I can. At some point in the near future, I'll have a special showing of this game on Twitch, same name as the YouTube one. If you stuck around this long, thanks again, and here's the perfect ending.
I can't see a thing.
Go on, Rita, baby. Now that sounds really groovy. I tell you what, let's sing. Well, it's nice to see Brick safe and sound. After all he's been around, and in my beauty should be crowned. The king of Limbo. Well, he's had his ups and he's had his downs. He's had his smiles and he's had his frowns. But I'll still say he should be crowned the king of Limbo.
Oh my god.
What more can a poor boy do?
This is good.
He took his courage to the brink. If it were me, I would turn to drink. Well, that's the reason I think he should be the king of Limbo.
Yeah, he had to face enough sins, but at least he kept his legitims. I think that we should be crowning him the king of Limbo. Take it away with you, baby.
What
That's
the
cool.
fuck?
What more can a poor boy do? Working for the likes of me and you. What more can a poor boy say? But I could use your help in any way. We've all had fun, you must agree. Even though interactively, but now we feel that Brick should be the king of Limbo. I do up, I do be do up, I do up, I do be do up.
Fuck.
I do up, I do be do up. The king of Limbo. I do up, I do be do up. I do up, I do be do up. I do up, I do be do up. King of Limbo.
Bro, alright. Listen. Firstly, that was brilliant. The music was brilliant. I just hope that the sound, the vocal, the voice actors wouldn't like sound like razors in my ear. Like seriously, what the fuck? But the sound is catchy. I love it that demons and dogs and what the fuck is that? Wormwood from the beginning is still on the roof and singing with us. What the fuck? But yeah. What did I just watch? Yeah, this was definitely weirder than anything Maxor and Seth ever produced. Seriously, what the fuck? And I am actually looking forward to checking out more videos from Mandaloregaming if nothing bad happens, of course. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. I am confused a bit still. Maybe I should go and watch a let's play of this somewhere. Because what the fuck is this game? The fact that it was about a real person. This Captain Brown was a real person. And it had controversy against it. It had 3 books, a novel and 2 books written about it. And then coming back to this game. Like, that's maybe the problem. That they didn't have... Yeah, this is just... No, it's just off. They just stole shit from everywhere. There's no redemption here. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. See you all later.